Hello, Coach Greg Sneed here with Lifesaver Financial Services, helping you to keep more of the money you make so you feel better about your life. You can check me out at lifesaverfinancial.com. The month of April is Financial Literacy Month, and we're covering some of the easy stuff first. And then as the month moves on, we'll get into more intermediate level subjects. Today's topic continues the conversation on personal banking. Let's take a look at ATM cards, bank debit cards, and credit cards. Our first experience was ATM cards, and they were used solely to get cash out of a machine instead of going into the bank and dealing with a teller. And they're still around. By the 80s, ATMs were everywhere. And then those ATM cards evolved into debit cards, pretty much around the late 80s to early 90s. So, what should you know about debit cards? Well, unlike a credit card, that money comes out of your bank account instantly. Now, this can help you not to spend more money than you have, but you have to have the money in there to cover that charge. You also need to be careful where it's used because debit cards do not have the same protection as a credit card. Disputing the charge with a vendor is more difficult because that money has already come out of your account. We'll take a look at that again in a couple of minutes. If someone gets your debit card or your card number and PIN, they can wipe out all of your money. So please, please, please don't use one of those simple PIN numbers like 1234. I know somebody out there is doing that, right? If you have the tap on your card, that symbol there, that wireless, use that instead of inserting your card into the slot because that helps protect you from skimmers grabbing your card number. All right, credit cards. Great tool, but they can be very dangerous. Credit card debt. I call that stuff you bought that you couldn't afford, but you bought it anyway, right? It does allow you to spend more money than you have. So remember your budget. Credit cards often carry pretty hefty interest and finance charges. The average rate went from 16% last year to now 21% this year. Credit cards might be required to pay for airline, hotel, and car rentals. So you can't get away from them because a lot of them are going to require a credit card instead of a debit card. Big difference with credit cards is that the increased ability to dispute a charge. When you do that, the merchant's credit card processor suspends payments to them until that dispute is resolved. With a debit card, that merchant already has your money, so the disputes get a little bit more complicated. The Credit Card Act of 2009 required certain things to be disclosed on the statement: due date, late payment notice, interest rate, and the impact of only making minimum payments. So look at that on your statement. You'll see that sometimes it's between 27 and 33 years to pay it off. And lastly, not paying your credit card payments on time will impact your credit score. We'll be talking about credit scores in another lesson. Be sure to tune in again to learn more about your money because when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. We'll see you soon.